Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. It's Zach Rossica. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about Universal Audio, the brand, why I love them, and why I feel like they are the best when it comes to terms of in terms of plugins, software for uh, guitar, for amps. Why I think they are the best. So, I've been playing guitar now for 27 years. Um, 27 years this year. That's a long time. I started when I was 13 and started playing professionally when I was 14 and a half years old, playing in blues clubs and stuff in a blues rock band. Um, but anyway, so a lot of experience. I've owned Marshalls, original Jubilee 2558 212 50 water. That was one of the best amps I've ever played live and owned. Never gave me a problem. Um, Multiple super reverbs, finished super reverbs. Out of the 7 or 8 that I've owned, I've had one that was running good. If you're a player and you're into tone and pushing amps to get clean breakup or something, you can probably relate to what I'm saying. You know, 7 or 8 super reverbs and one was absolutely incredible. That was the number one best amp I've ever owned. But that being said, I have a lot of experience, of course, with tube amps, playing live, thousands of shows. Um, Now I'm a retired guitarist, I like to call it. I just do it for fun, play with my youngest son. He is starting guitar, loves to play guitar, drums, keyboard, and sing. And he just turned 6. So that's, of course, keeps me uh, always excited to play. Finding the time is another thing. That's why you don't find me posting much on my channel, which I'm planning on doing a lot more of. Is finding the time to post and offer my years of experience in tone chasing, playing live. It's very deep how far this channel can go. And I'm just going to take it as it comes, do what I essentially want to until I start getting input on what people want to see, which some of you have already emailed me, which is super cool, about my gear. And those of you that have been around know that I have a custom preamp that's based off of a JTM Black Flag 50 watt Marshall, if you will. And it has no tubes. It's essentially MOSFET and, in the form of, it fits into a pedal form. Right now I got it in a Tech 21 case that I've had it put in, just so I can have it to use, if you will, because I don't have any pedal boxes made. But anyway, that's usually what I use is a preamp on my pedal board. Right now I'm only running a Honeybee Amps clean drive and the preamp and a Delverb by Universal Audio. I am in love with the Deluxe Memory Man from Universal Audio. In the Starlight, I ended up trading a fella online for my Starlight for his Delverb. No, it was a Keeley Halo limited edition. I traded for it. And I ended up selling my Starlight to a good friend of mine. But anywho, I now use the Delverb, and it has delay and reverb all in one. So I have completely cut the size of my pedal board down exponentially. So essentially, I'm running into a Peterson Strobo Stomp, the one before that came out before the Mini that's out now, and I'm using that into the clean drive, and after the clean drive, it runs into my preamp, out of my preamp into the Delverb, out into my orange Pedal Baby 100 Class AB power amp. Now, I cannot say enough about this. This is like a secret weapon. I tell anybody who asks what I'm using, but that's why I'm coming on here talking about it too, before I go into the Universal Audio stuff. But that's my rig. Peterson tuner, clean drive by Honeybee amps. And I use my volume roll off. It has great volume roll off. And then I use the push clean of my preamp into the Delverb. So Honeybee amps, clean drive, preamp, Delverb, power amp into either an EM12 by Eminence. I have a Fender bass breaker that I've replaced a speaker with, which is an Eminence EM12, which is a 12L copy, 200 watts, and running at 8 ohm. And that thing stomps. I used to play EV15Ls, EVM, the 15Ls, the right series, um, not the ones with the big pieces of plastic on the back and the reissued 12Ls that they came out with that were supposedly the wrong ones from EV. I played vintage, essentially new old stock Electro Voice, 12Ls and 15Ls. And I had a 15L, two of them because I had two Vibroverbs. I've had the custom DS Fender reissue, but I also had hand wired Bandmaster reverbs that were turned into Vibra clones, is what they used to call them. And I'm sure they still do. And yeah, they romped, and those speakers can handle anything, and they don't color the tone much. So I love running the JTM Black Flag preamp into that. It's just a single 12 Fender bass breaker, small cab, but man, that's a great sounding cab. That's a sleeper. Uh, if you get a chance to try it, I would recommend it. Even the V type in that cabinet is extra special. Something about the way that it's designed with the small ports that are in the lower back panel just gives it enough room to breathe. I'm usually an open back guy, but this small cabinet throws. I mean, it is such a warm sound, and maybe the way it's compressing because it's not completely open back. Regardless, it sounds phenomenal. So check out the Bass Breaker 112 extension cabinet with a V-type Celestian. But anyway, I put essentially a EV clone in it, and I mean it can handle anything you throw at it. It can handle the whole 100 watts of that Class AB orange power amp, and that power amp feels better and sounds better than when I've run my preamp into effects loops of Marshall Vintage Modern, different Marshalls, running into the return using the power tubes as the power amp. It sounds better than tubes. And KT66s, EL34s, and 6L6s is what I have experience with. And that's it. I mean, the Pedal Baby 100 is not going to blow up on me. It's super solid. You can tell it's super well built. I think it should be a lot more money than what they sell for. And I don't have to worry about tubes and amps going out anymore. So it's phenomenal. This preamp has all the feel, the punch, the clarity, everything you need that I get from tube amps that most tube amps can't give me. And also it takes overdrives better than any amp I've ever owned. So that's what I usually run. Now onto the Universal Audio stuff. The Deluxe Memory Man is my favorite delay. I've had 3 or 4 Belly Pop Deluxes, which I really like. The Memory Man setting on those, the vibrato and the core setting. I think it's number 5 and 6 on the Epoch Deluxe. I tried the Elephant Man by the Line 6, the HX1. Sounds really good, but the definition and the clarity isn't there like it is in the Starlight or the Delverb on the Deluxe Memory Man. So that is by far my favorite delay. I've had others too that kind of model or are chasing that Deluxe Memory Man sound. But the Keeley Halo. The Keeley Halo was great until I got used to the Starlight. What I will say is that the dotted eighth and quarter setting on the Starlight hands down beats the Andy Timmons setting on the Halo, because if you have a Halo, it's a great delay. I love it. I love Andy Timmons tones, and what he was going for originally, what he's been chasing with the timeline and stuff, is my understanding, and what I would think based on what I'm hearing is going for the sound that he used to get with running 2 Deluxe Memory Men into each other, one into the other, running them in series. One shorter, about 375, splashing into the one that's 500 milliseconds roughly. But he always had problems with them going down. With all that being said, the Halo's first 375 roughly millisecond delay, based on where I set it, smacks way too hard, and it crashes into the second 500 second, the second delay, which was about 500 milliseconds. I don't hear it in Andy Timmons' delay tones, right? It seems a lot more smooth. I'm not sure if that's post EQ or if he's actually running a different setting than what he put in, the first slot that comes with every Halo, um, in the memory or the banks. Um, but his sure doesn't sound like that. It's not that first shorter delay is not smacking into it, causing almost chaos into the second delay. So let me shorten it up. The UA Starlight dotted in quarter eighth, when I said it, is a lot warmer. It sounds like two memory men happening at the same time, one running into the other, and it doesn't smack into the longer delay and cause a chaotic sound, almost like it's fighting. They talk about how the Halo melds together. That's not my experience. It sounds great, but it is no Starlight, even with just a single delay. And can it do more? Yes, of course it can do more because you have more options. But the bottom line is, I'm about the tone, and I don't like delays fighting each other. I don't usually run a dual delay, which I'm not even doing it anymore. But that's just food for thought. It's my take on it. If you want the best deluxe memory man sound on planet Earth, um, other than getting originals and hoping they stand up, but then you got noise, and then they also act funny when you run overdrives into them. That's why Starlight, Universal Audio, um, and the Delverb. So I've come to terms that I'm not going to run dual delays live or um, anytime soon. But if I do, I just may, snag another one or grab a Starlight. But for the meantime, just a single uh, delay in the Delverb is good enough for me. But my goodness gracious, I cannot let you know enough how good that deluxe memory man is in the Universal Audio stuff. Um, Now to the plugins based on what I was supposed to talk about originally 300 minutes ago. I recently heard a good friend, Jesse Boot, on Instagram, and we swapped amps. I think I traded him a killer amp for one of his killer amps and cabinets, and but he became a friend of mine. Lives in the same area that I used to play around and went to middle and high school in South Carolina, and heck of a player, heck of a great guy. He made a post of him playing a Roger Mayer Axis fuzz with the volume rolled back into the UA Lion pedal, and was running direct, and it sounded incredible. And I was like, man, the detail. Well, bear in mind, I've purchased two Universal Audio Lions, the 68 Super Lead, and messed with the app, EQ'd it, did all I needed to do. And what I was trying to do was beat my preamp running into a real cab. So I turned the cab sim off, ran into my power amp. I tried multiple different power amps, and it just didn't cut it compared to my Black Flag preamp. It didn't sound very good. It was harsh, no matter what setting, what I did to it. Right. So I wasn't really planning on running it direct a lot. Well, his sound is so good. I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to grab another Lion yet. Like I wanted to immediately. And that's what I told Jesse. I said, man, I'm going to grab one now because of the way he had his set, the way it sounded. But I was like, man, I just didn't get a good sound out of it. Now that I'm going to be running direct, I said, why don't I just try? Because I have access to it because I subscribe to Universal Audio's plugins, and there I have like 30 different plugins from them: delays, compressors, limiters, mastering EQs, and stuff like that I haven't used yet. I've just used the LA2 Teletronics, which sounds killer on some guitar on the back end. But other than that, it's just delay and reverbs, the Hall 224 and the Galaxy Echo. I wish they would come out with a DMM plugin, um, which hopefully they will. But the Galaxy sounds damn good um, based on a Space Echo. Here's some coffee. But that Space Echo Galaxy sounds good, that plugin. So that's all I'm running. And this demo you're going to be hearing today, I'm going to be demoing the Lion. And what I will say is this. After owning 3 different Fractal X8s, 2 FM3s, which has new software and stuff, 4 different Kemper profiling amps, one being powered, and getting, purchasing all the different profiles and all that stuff. Playing a Helix live for one show didn't work. I played with another guitarist, and it just running through 2 QSC K8s behind me 2,000 watts of power through some 8 inches tilted back. Monitor is acting as like a cab behind me. It couldn't hang with a regular Vibrolux reissue that had some aftermarket speakers in it to make it a little bit more robust, and definitely puts out more power. But it couldn't hang with a real amp, and I was just trying it just for fun, and so that turned me off from the Helix. But anyway, um, I just can't get real, like, very authentic sounds out of the Fractal. I can get close. You can hear it on my channel. I recently did one of a Vibroverb after I dialed it in, and I got Austin Buddy live amp packs or live gold for it, and I just can't get a natural sound, and that's why I always end up selling them. That's why I bought so many, is I tried to love them, and because they sound great through a PA when it's cranked. Other than that, it's not very enjoyable for me to play. So yesterday I plug in and I try out the Lion. It freaking sounded insane. Absolutely the best modeling, if you will, the feel that I've ever played in my whole life. It felt like I had a Marshall turned up, pushing some air on about 4. That's where I run the volume. And it felt like I was playing through a real amp and hearing it back in in-ears, because I got in-ears in when I'm recording. It felt like I'm listening to a mic'd amp. Like, the feel was there, the bounce in my fingers, the attack, everything was just right on the money. So I decided to put the Galaxy Echo behind that, the Lion plug-in, and then I ran the Hall 224. And when I put that Hall and dialed it, it didn't take much dialing, but I dialed in that reverb, dialed in some good delay, and that's what you're hearing on my most recent video of the Dream, where it says the Dream UA. Universal Audio Dream kicks ass. And the reason why I made that thumbnail like that is because I've seen so many different videos and reviews and stuff online of people saying that the Dream was not good. The Lion's great and the Ruby's okay, but the Dream wasn't good. Well, I beg to differ. I've owned the Dream. I didn't gel with it. Again, it was, excuse me trying to run it as a preamp into my power amp and cab, because I like real amps. Again, after sharing that, now I've been looking for over 10 years for a direct solution, which I haven't been able to find. Y'all, this is it. Like, that Lion is by far light years ahead of any other kind of profiler or anything that's trying to capture a real amp. Nothing else is really real. You can make yourself believe it is, and you can get it feeling good and all that, but not like this. I think it shows in the Dream. Hopefully it comes across running an amp, one delay and one reverb after the plug-in. Like, I mean, no EQ, no nothing. That's what you get, and it's insane to me. It's so detailed. It reacts to your pick attack, and the reason why I did the Dream is because I thought, well, man, if the Lion is sounding this good, which was the best modeled, again, captured experience I've ever had by light years, I was like, let me just try this Dream, because I love Fender sounds, push Fender, but you can never get them, right? Like, most amps, if they're not perfectly dialed in, vintage amps, they're not going to give you that. The reissues really don't give you that push clean sound that's really good and juicy and gives up the goods and is compressed in the right way and without sounding harsh, but still brilliant and beautiful, So as close as you can get to playing through the real thing. Is it 100% there? No, it's not, but it's about 99% there. I mean, it's as if I'm playing the amp in another room, which is, and mic'd up, which is what they're going for. So they 100% nailed what they were going for. So I don't know much about the Universal Audio staff, some about the engineers and the engineering that goes into it, but what I will say is this. I've been a fan of James Santiago for close to 20 years. Maybe over 20 years. And since one of his first videos I saw on YouTube, he worked for Line 6. I'm pretty sure he had a hand in developing the delays in the DL4. I know that he had his hand in the Starlight, which he's the EP3 fanatic and knows his stuff, as well as Deluxe Memory Man, precision delay, the digital delay. He knows what he's doing. So he had his hands in this, in the Starlight, which I understand he was a heavy player and had his hands in making the Lion. Well, James has got JTM 50 Black Flag original. He's got Super Lead Plexi. He's got a Super Bass, is my understanding after seeing all his stuff. And he's got the real cabinets, another 412 with a Tolex ripped off that he got from Joe Bonamassa. He said, man, what I'm really wanting is, you know, a 412 with no Tolex or whatever, a raw cab, and 412. And James in the interview said that Joe Bonamassa said, "Hold my beer," and he went over to a storage unit, brought him exactly what he was looking for. So that was also used in making the Lions, some of their IRs, whatever you want to call them, the speaker cabinets, which is super cool. And of course, I'm a Joe Bonamassa fan. I had the honor of opening up for Joe Bonamassa in 2005 at the Lake Austin Blues Festival. My group went on right before him, and I got to meet him backstage, of course. And he was the nicest, most humble dude. And the day before that, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if it was Flip Flop, but it was a weekend. Gary Clark Jr. was on the bill, a good friend of mine who I love. Great, great, humble guy is Gary Clark Jr. We've known each other for years and years. Met in Memphis when I was 17. He was 16. Became friends. Great guy. But we played on, my band was located in and around Charlotte, North Carolina. We would travel to Austin, all over the place. And I run into Gary a lot. And he was also on this bill. Jake Andrews was there. Loved Jake for many years. I had that, bought his album Time to Burn. I'm going through down the rabbit hole here, guys. Anyway, we opened up for Kenny Wayne Shepherd and Double Trouble, and that's a pretty cool story that I may share. How that went. Pretty funny story. We went on right before Kenny Wayne Shepherd and Double Trouble, Chris Layton and Tommy Shannon. And but anyway, Joe was cool and played a great show. But we all love Joe Bonamassa. Him and James Santiago are friends. Bottom line is Santiago. James Santiago is a hell of a player. He's friends with Dweezil Zappa. You can hear him jamming with Dweezil Zappa. But I mean, dude can burn it down live, and he can burn it down just tinkering around. He's a fuzz hound. He loves fuzz faces. Good friends with George Trips. Like, the dude's just cool, man. I'm a big fan. I like the guy. He knows his stuff. He's all obviously super smart, and he can relate and connect real amps, real hard hardware, deluxe memory man, Echoplex EP3 tape Echo. He can make them turn that. He's helping turn those things into a superb, almost perfect recreation digitally. And so I chalk it up. I'm going to say it's all James Santiago that's taken Universal Audio on the direction and the path it's gone. But that's just what I like to think, because I'm a big fan of James and his playing. And but yeah, man, I mean, George Trips and I think James Santiago, I think they both had to do with a Line 6 DL4 back then with all the algorithms and stuff. But anyway, that's it. Long story. Made medium. Universal Audio is leading the pack. Fractal, Kemper, everybody. You can argue with me. Say what you will in the comments. I'm a Strat guy. I'm not like relying on humbuckers, because literally I can take an Epiphone Les Paul and put it on the bridge pickup and sound as good through any damn thing that I plug into. I can plug into Kemper, Fractal, blah blah blah. It wouldn't matter, because it's not as detailed. You don't notice it. Oh, well, I plug in with my PRS. Great, you do, but you're not plugging in with the clear single coil, right? And you don't have the ears that I do. You don't have the fingers that I do. So that's just what I'm hearing. That's my experience. Everything else is down here. Universal Audio is at the top. And I don't think it's known as well as it should be. Yes, they've blown up. Yes, they've sold, I'm sure, tens of thousands of Dreams and Rubies and Lions and now the Enigmatic. But I'm telling you right now, from a 27-year-old, retired professional guitarist, I played pro for 18 years, full time, tube amps and great delays, reverbs, the whole bit. Nothing comes close to Universal Audio, period. And I don't think that's just as far as I'm concerned. I'm a big fan of Fractal and all that stuff, but like I just can't even play them anymore. Like I ended up getting rid of my most recent Fractal unit, and I can't do it. I just can't do it. But with Universal Audio, I can. Zach Rossick out. Talked way too long. Hope you guys enjoy this information. God bless you. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've tried Universal Audio. Let me know if you tried their plugins or delays or reverbs, if you have the limiter, compressors, the Lion, Dream, whatever it may be. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Strymon, Capistan, El Capistan, and the Dig. If you've tried those two plugins, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And if you've compared them to the Galaxy Echo, or yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace.